The flashbulbs ignited, the velvet rope, it parted. And there, on the purple carpet for the Zootopia 2 premiere, were Ginnifer Goodwin and Josh Dallas.
Hollywood's most private couple, really.
Exactly. And they did something just, well, completely shocking. They shattered that unwritten rule of celebrity parenting.
For a decade, I mean an entire decade, this family kept their children very, very far away from anything Hollywood. So this debut wasn't just a photo op.
No.
It was this huge exception. And it immediately makes you ask questions about the ethics of celebrity parenting today.
And that's our mission. That's what we're here to do today. We're going to take a deep dive into the tension this one appearance brings up.
Right.
We're analyzing the significance of Goodwin and Dallas finally bringing their two sons, Oliver and Hugo, onto a red carpet for the first time ever.
And we're connecting that choice to this whole emerging legal and ethical battlefield that people are calling sharenting.
When you think about their history, it's just so startling.
It really is. I mean, these are two people who met on a massive TV show, once upon a time, seen by millions, and yet their children have been, well, ghosts to the public until this moment.
So the big question is why? Why break this rigid 10-year rule they had? We know Ginnifer Goodwin said they'd never let their kids near the spotlight. So what changed?
So according to the source material, the push, it came entirely from the boys themselves.
Really?
Yeah, they apparently waged a full-blown campaign to get to this premiere. Goodwin even joked that they put together a PowerPoint presentation.
A PowerPoint presentation?
I know.
That detail alone tells you everything about how serious those kids were. So what was their winning argument in this presentation?
It wasn't about fame at all. It was pure fandom.
Okay.
The boys are, and I think this is a quote, Disney nuts. And crucially, Zootopia is the only thing their parents have done that they actually like to watch.
That makes sense.
Goodwin said that any live-action stuff, even with their own parents in it, just freaks them out. So this premiere was safe, it was fun, it was something they loved.
So that distinction is everything. This wasn't some big PR move.
Not at all.
It was a very carefully managed, a personal concession to two very persistent little Disney fans. And the parents knew what they were getting into. Goodwin said the boys asked if the red carpet would be crazy like when we left the Knicks game that time.
Wow. That just shows you how little exposure they've had to a real media crush.
None at all.
And this is what's really, I think, so insightful about their parenting. Even after this huge public moment, the boundaries, they stayed firm, non-negotiable.
So what did they say?
Goodwin confirmed they are still not going to be posting about them. And this is the big one. They're not allowed to Google themselves.
That's not just a rule. That sounds more like a high-stakes firewall,
It is?
The public event was a one-off, but that private digital footprint management is still absolutely in place.
Exactly. And that distinction, that sort of lets us zoom out a bit. Because the Goodwin-Dallas family, they weren't the only big names there with their kids.
Right.
The Zootopia 2 premiere basically turned into the ultimate demonstration, what you could call the Disney exception.
The Disney exception, I like that. So the thinking is that the analysis changes because the project is animated and family-friendly.
Precisely. It suggests that celebrity parents feel, I don't know, safer exposing their kids when the project is animated. There's no personal or reputational risk attached. Jason Bateman, Nick Wilde, he was there with his wife and their two daughters, Francesca and Maple.
And the star power didn't stop there, right? I saw pictures of Shakira.
Oh, yes. Shakira, who voices Gazelle, she was there with this amazing purple gown, and her sons, Milan and Sasha, were in these matching purple suits. It was great.
That's adorable, but there was more to it with them, wasn't there?
There was, and this is what's so fascinating. Her sons weren't just guests, they were actually involved. Milan and Sasha recorded lines for the movie.
No way. Who did they play?
They voiced some of Judy Hopps' little bunny brothers.
That is a phenomenal fact. It just reinforces that whole idea that the exposure is happening within this very controlled, professional Disney bubble.
The total family work integration. And we also saw people like Wilmer Valderrama and Mario Lopez there with their kids.
So it was a real trend for this premiere.
It clearly sent a message to the industry. If you're going to make that public exception for your kids, a Disney animated premiere is the safest place you can do it.
Before we dig into the heavier analysis, I have to bring up one little detail Goodwin shared about the production itself. It's just a great piece of anecdotal evidence about her and Bateman.
Yes, the recording booth issues.
The troubles, yes. So apparently she and Jason Bateman had to record all their lines separately.
And why was that?
because she gets the giggles really, really, really badly around him. She confessed, "He can't not make me laugh. I waste everyone's time."
That's hilarious. So they can't even be in the same room.
She said she's hoping for a Zootopia 3 just so they can try to record together and capture some of that natural laughter. If you love deep dives like this, by the way, make sure you're subscribed.
That really does paint a great picture of their collaboration. But, that lightheartedness, that's an important contrast
To what?
to the really intense management of the children's publicity, that no posting, no Googling firewall you mentioned. That is the necessary defense against the digital reality we're about to get into.
Absolutely. The fun of the red carpet is one night, but the risk of a permanent digital footprint, that's the serious reason so many celebrity parents hide their children away.
And this is where we need to bring in the concept of sharenting.
Right. Define that for us.
It's basically the pervasive practice of parents sharing details, photos, intimate moments of their children on social media. Often, and this is key, without the child's consent. Goodwin's caution is completely validated by the known risks.
I mean, you hear about things like identity fraud and data mining, but what are the deeper long-term consequences that drive this intense need for privacy?
It's the emotional trauma, the reputational trauma that lasts. We're now starting to hear testimony from former kidfluencers who are adults now, and they describe this trauma directly.
Right.
The digital footprint their parents created for them, it follows them into adulthood, and it's filled with this deeply intimate information they never, ever consented to share.
We saw some of that testimony in Washington state, I believe, around some proposed laws.
Yes. A former kidfluencer named Cam described the lasting damage. They talked about how intimate information, childhood photos, even personal details like their first period was just out there online for anyone to see.
That's horrifying.
Cam said they are now, as an adult, terrified to share my name because they've lost the ability to manage their own reputation. The digital history, created by a parent, it becomes this massive liability.
That inability to control your own story as an adult, that's profound. It's a kind of violation that's now leading to this rapid evolution in legal theory, right? To protect these kids when they grow up.
Exactly. And that's why we're seeing states start to look at concepts like the right to be forgotten, which actually originated in the EU.
Okay.
Bills like Washington State's HB 1627 are proposing ways for adult children to request the deletion of social media content that featured them when they were minors.
So that would handle deleting the footprint. But what about getting compensation for a child who has already suffered, real damage from all this, reputational financial damage from their parents' sharenting?
Well, that leads to the most radical legal solution being proposed. It's called the tort of unwanted publicity.
A tort, so a civil wrong.
Exactly. It's a mechanism that legal scholars are proposing specifically for cases where commercial sharenting has caused significant harm.
So an adult child could potentially sue their own parent for the digital harm they suffered as a kid.
That's the goal of the proposed tort. It would provide a pathway for the adult child to reclaim their dignity and, yes, seek financial compensation for years of unconsented commercialized exposure.
Wow.
So when you look back at Ginnifer Goodwin's ironclad rule, no posting, no Googling, it becomes so clear what she's doing.
She's building a proactive defense against this exact modern legal and emotional dilemma.
She is.
So the Zootopia 2 premiere, it really wasn't just a fun family night out. It was a highly managed, very calculated exception to an ironclad rule. And it just highlights the intense pressure and the growing ethical stakes of being a parent in the digital age, especially a famous one.
Which brings up a really important question, not just for celebrities, but for you, for any parent listening.
Go on.
Given that lawyers in entire states are now actively trying to create legal pathways for children to sue their parents for sharenting, does every picture a parent posts today just become potential evidence?
Evidence for a future lawsuit that their child could file the moment they turn 18.
It certainly makes that PowerPoint presentation seem like the least of their worries, doesn't it?
A truly provocative thought to end on. You've been listening to The Deep Dive. Thanks for tuning in.